Have you ever heard of a Hollywood star who moonlighted as a world-changing inventor? It sounds like the plot of a movie, but it's the true story of Hedy Lamarr, a woman whose beauty captivated the world, but whose mind was even more brilliant. Let's rewind to the 1930s. A young Austrian named Hedwig Keisler is making waves in European cinema. She's talented, she's ambitious, and she's stunningly beautiful. Her fame explodes, and soon Hollywood comes knocking. She adopts a new name, Hedy Lamarr, and quickly becomes one of the biggest stars of the Golden Age, known as the most beautiful woman in the world. She starred alongside legends like Clark Gable and Spencer Tracy. On screen, she was the epitome of glamour and sophistication. But off-screen, Hedy was leading a secret double life. You see, Hedy Lamarr was bored. She found acting unfulfilling and yearned for a greater intellectual challenge. In her private trailer, between takes, she wasn't just memorizing lines, she was sketching out inventions. Her mind was a whirlwind of ideas. She redesigned traffic lights and even created a tablet that would dissolve in water to make a fizzy drink. To her, inventing was a hobby, a way to keep her sharp mind occupied. But little did she know, this hobby was about to change the course of history. As World War II raged across Europe, Hedy, who was of Jewish heritage and had fled the Nazis, was determined to contribute to the Allied war effort. She was deeply troubled by news of German U-boats sinking passenger ships. The problem was that radio-guided torpedoes, a potential solution, were easily jammed by the enemy. If you transmitted on a single frequency, the enemy could find that frequency and block it, rendering the torpedo useless. This is where Hedy's genius truly shines. She teamed up with a composer friend, George Antheil. Now, a Hollywood actress and a musician might seem like an unlikely pair of inventors, but their combined creativity was unstoppable. Antheil had experience with synchronizing player pianos, using perforated paper rolls to make multiple pianos play the same tune in perfect unison. Hedy had an epiphany. What if you could make a radio signal jump from frequency to frequency, like a pianist jumping between keys? If the transmitter and the receiver could hop between frequencies in a prearranged, synchronized pattern, the enemy would never be able to find and jam the signal. It would be like trying to listen to a radio station that changes its channel every split second. They called this revolutionary idea frequency hopping spread spectrum. Together, Hedy and George meticulously worked out the details. They developed a system that used a mechanism similar to a player piano roll to synchronize the frequency changes between the Torpedo ES guidance system and the ship controlling it. It was an incredibly complex and ingenious concept, far ahead of its time. In 1942, they were granted a patent for their secret communications system. They eagerly offered their invention to the US Navy, hoping it would give the Allies a critical advantage. But what happened? The Navy was skeptical. They looked at Hedy Lamarr and saw a movie star, not an inventor. They couldn't wrap their heads around the idea of putting a player piano inside a torpedo. The invention was shelved, and Hedy was told she could best help the war effort by using her celebrity status to sell war bonds. And she did, raising millions of dollars. But her greatest contribution remained unrecognized. For decades, the patent collected dust. Hedy continued her acting career, but the spark of invention never left her. The world moved on, and her brilliant idea was largely forgotten, a footnote in the life of a Hollywood icon. But a great idea never truly dies. Fast forward to the 1950s, during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The US Navy, desperate for secure communication technology, rediscovered Hedy and George's patent. Engineers realized its immense potential and began implementing their frequency-hopping concept in new military communication systems. Finally, Hedy's invention was put to use, protecting national security just as she had intended. But the story doesn't end there. The true legacy of Hedy Lamarr's invention extends far beyond military applications. That frequency-hopping technology she pioneered became the foundational principle for nearly all modern wireless communication. Think about the device you're watching this on right now. Your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet. Every time you connect to Wi-Fi, you're using a direct descendant of Hedy Lamarr's invention. When you pair your phone with a Bluetooth speaker or your wireless headphones, that's frequency hopping at work, ensuring a stable, interference-free connection. GPS systems that guide us from place to place also rely on this technology to maintain a secure and accurate signal. Hedy Lamarr literally invented the building blocks of our connected world. She was a visionary who saw the future long before anyone else. Yet, for most of her life, she received no public credit and no financial compensation for her groundbreaking work. The world saw her as just a pretty face, underestimating the powerful mind behind it. It wasn't until the late 1990s, towards the end of her life, that the tech world finally began to recognize her contribution. She received several prestigious awards, including the Electronic Frontier Foundation's Pioneer Award. When told she was receiving the award, her classic response was, "Well, it's about time." Hedy Lamarr's story is a powerful reminder that innovation can come from the most unexpected places. It's a testament to the fact that you should never judge a book by its cover, or an inventor by their day job. She was more than a star. She was a trailblazer, a patriot, and a genius whose legacy is embedded in the very fabric of our digital lives. So, the next time you browse the internet on your phone, or listen to music on a Bluetooth device, take a moment to remember Hedy Lamarr, the glamorous Hollywood actress who, in her spare time, invented the future.